Okay, here we go. All right, so step one, we are looking at the title. It says they lived in a factory for 28 days to make raw PPE materials to fight coronavirus. So we kind of already know what we're going to be getting into with this article. We know it's nonfiction. It sounds like the news. It sounds like something current, so it's nonfiction. The next thing we want to do is scroll down to the questions. So if we see question number 1 here, read the following paragraph from the article. And it's this paragraph that starts, "No one told them." So when we see this article, it says, which of the following can be inferred? So we know we are making an inference when we get to this paragraph that says, "No one told them." Question 2, the live-in at the factory brought the workers closer together. Which sentence best supports that statement? So again, it's going to be a supporting detail type of question. Question 3, which of the following statements best represents the workers' families' approach towards showing the workers' support? So how did their families support them during this time? And then finally, number 4, the race strategy. Why did the author conclude, which means to end, the article by quoting Joe Boyce's emotional reaction at the end of the live-in? So we know we're going to be looking at the end of the article and making an inference and using the race strategy. So we're going to scroll back up to the top. I have put in these places for you guys to do your annotations. And that's what we will be doing as we read. You'll stop and you'll just type them right into the document there when you click submit. Okay, so I'm going to start reading for us at the beginning. Here we go. At his factory just off the Delaware River in the far southeastern corner of Pennsylvania, Joe Boyce clocked in on March 23rd for the longest shift of his life. In his office, an air mattress replaced his desk chair. He brought a toothbrush and shaving kit, moving into the Braskem petrochemical plant in Marcus Hook, Pennsylvania, as if it were a makeshift college dormitory. The casual office kitchen became a mess hall for him, and his 42 co-workers turned roommates. The factory's emergency operations center became their new lounge room. For 28 days, they did not leave, sleeping and working all in one place. So we kind of already knew based on the title what we were getting ourselves into, but we know we're looking at this chemical plant. And Joe Boyce seems to be our main focus person that this news article is focusing in on, and that he has completely moved into his workplace as of March 23rd. Next paragraph. In what they called a live-in at the factory, the undertaking was just one example of the endless ways that Americans in every industry have uniquely contributed to fighting coronavirus. The 43 men went home April 13th after each working 12-hour shifts all day and night for a month straight, producing tens of millions of pounds of the raw materials that would end up in face masks and surgical gowns worn on the front lines of the pandemic. So now we have a reason. We know why they're living at the factory, and it's because they are producing a lot of the material, again, that's going to make face masks as well as the gowns for doctors and surgeons to wear around the hospital. So now we know the why. Why did they move into this factory? Because of the emergency situation with coronavirus, and they're doing everything they can to help. Next paragraph starts with "no one told them," so we know that this is going to be question 1, so we need to pay attention when we read this paragraph. No one told them they had to do it. Braskem America CEO Mark Nikolash said, all of the workers volunteered, hunkering down at the plant to ensure that no one caught the virus outside as they sought to meet the rocketing demand for their key product, polypropylene, which is needed to make various medical and hygienic items. Braskem's plant in Neal, West Virginia, was doing a second live-in on April 23rd. The story was earlier reported on Philadelphia's WPVI. So we know here that they volunteered to do this. Nobody made them, and the reason that they lived at the factory was so that they didn't catch coronavirus being somewhere else and not, endanger them making all of this stuff. So they decided to all just live there. So we're going to start for annotation 1. In 1 or 2 sentences, I'm going to give you guys about 45 seconds to a minute. Give me the main idea of what we learned and what was going on in the first few paragraphs. If you want, you can put it in the chat and I will give you feedback and tell you if your annotation was good. I know it's been kind of a while since we've done traditional annotations because we were doing the book for a while. So some of you might need some help, and that's okay. But if you do your annotation, please put it in the chat so that I can give you feedback. I'm going to give you 1 minute to do that first annotation. Yes, Jayla, I like that, but I would also include, y'all, I would include in the annotation why they're living in a factory. Like, what are they doing there? That's important for humanity. What kind of fact, like, what are they making? What are they doing in this factory? Because that's pretty important.
Mr. Vivi.
What's up, Caleb?
So you remember what happened last time, right?
Yeah,
When I
with
couldn't get
Canvas.
on.
Is it doing the same thing again?
Yep.
How did Mr. Robbins have you fix it last time?
Oh, I think I remember. I think I gotta go like this, like website or something called Instructure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that.
Okay, try that first for me. Edixon, yeah, that's a really good annotation. Caleb, let me know if you need help.
All right.
Yes, Alicia, what are they doing to volunteer to help? Yes, Jayla, great job. Anaya, they're not giving it, they're actually making it. They're the ones making the gowns and face masks. But aside from that, yes, great job. I'm gonna give you guys about 15 more seconds for annotation 1 if you want to put it in the chat. All right, let's flip back. If you're still finishing that up and you want to put it in the chat, I can check it the next time I come back. But let's go ahead and go back to our article. We are picking up from underneath annotation 1 where it says, "We were just happy." We were just happy to be able to help, voice an operations shift supervisor and a 27-year-old veteran at Braskem America told the Washington Post. Not 27 years old, I'm sorry, 27-year veteran. That means he's been working there for 27 years, not that he's 27 years old. "We've been getting messages on social media from nurses, doctors, EMS workers saying thank you for what we're doing. But we want to thank them for what they did and are continuing to do. That's what made the time we were in there go by quickly, just being able to support them." For countless face masks in America, their journey from a blob of chemicals into the hands of the first responders and grocery store clerks likely began at a plant, just like Braskem's. The company, which touts itself as the largest petrochemical producer in the Americas, is one of the earliest links in the supply chain, providing a key ingredient for the personal protective equipment that millions of people worldwide now need each day. Nikolic said the company has shifted its production lines to focus on making that key ingredient, polypropylene, given the high demand due to COVID-19. The company then sells the product to clients that turn it into a non-woven fabric, which medical manufacturers ultimately use to make face masks, medical gowns, and even disinfectant wipes, among other items. So again, it's telling you what they're doing there. They're making the chemical that eventually makes its way into the fabric for face masks and for these gowns and even for medical wipes and things like that. So they're really focusing on producing this chemical. Nikolic estimated that the Braskem plants in Pennsylvania and West Virginia have produced 40 million pounds of polypropylene over the past month, enough to hypothetically make 500 million N95 masks or 1.5 billion surgical masks, if the material were only used for that purpose. It will also be used for other PPE, such as gowns, Nikolic stressed. It just makes you immensely proud to be associated with a team like that, Nikolic said. They're operating in a strange environment 24/7, 365. And I think we can make an inference here. The reason he's calling it a strange environment is because normally you wouldn't live at a factory where you were working and move in and sleep on an air mattress. So I think that's what he's talking about, the strange environment there. Nikolic said that the plants decided to launch the live-ins so that employees could avoid having to worry about catching the virus while constantly traveling to and from work. And so the staff of the factory could be closed off to non-essential personnel. "We tried to make them as comfortable as possible," Nikolic said. And again, he's talking about the people who work for him at the company, they're trying to make it a safe place and a comfortable place for them to live, because these people are so important. Their jobs are so important. If these people get sick and they have to shut down the factory from coronavirus, then we won't have that chemical that makes face masks and doctors' gowns and everything else, which is very crucial. So we kind of see how everything's connected and how everybody's really supporting each other during this time. Go ahead and do your second annotation here, 1 to 2 sentences. I'm going to give you guys about 1 minute, and when you are done doing that annotation, then you can put it in the chat box and I can give you some feedback. Hmm? Okay. Yeah, Edixon, that's a good one. Caleb, do you want me to send another email to Mr. Robbins? Yes, Leighton, they are very important. I want you to also put why they're important. What are they doing that's important? I'll give you guys 30 more seconds to do that annotation. Again, put it in the chat box for me when you're done. Yes, Alicia, great job with that. That's awesome. Yeah, that helps them specifically with face masks and surgical gowns, like the gowns that the doctors wear. Yes, Jayla, good job. All right, y'all, and just a quick reminder, you know by now that we definitely don't want you guys copying answers and race strategy or anything like that, sharing any sort of answers for your schoolwork. It should all be independent, but that does count for annotations as well. You cannot share your annotations with other people. If I see that people have the same annotations, that will be a 0. So make sure you're doing your own independent work and not sharing any answers or annotations. Okay, let me respond to the student real quick, and then we'll get back to the end of the passage. Okay, let's do that. So underneath where it says annotation 2, which you should have just completed there, we are picking up where it said boys said some guys right underneath. This is the last section of the article. Boys said that some guys brought their Xbox consoles and TVs and even a cornhole set to stay entertained. They stayed active at the on-site gym, which has never been used so much before, Boyce said, and stayed extra busy in the kitchen. A skilled cook, Boyce and others asked corporate for more pots and pans and a stove, whipping up creamed corn, barbecue, and even filet mignon dinners for more than 40 people per night. Before long, they fell into a routine like they were all in one enormous household, he said. We had to kind of adapt. We came up with a chart for housekeeping chores so we could all clean the bathrooms and clean up after meals, Boyce said. It wasn't long before we're all sitting in the same spots at dinner. But being separated from family got harder as their time went on, said Boyce, who was a father of 2 teenagers. Some guys counted down the days. One missed the birth of his first grandchild. Visitors weren't allowed. So on day 14, the families organized a drive-by visit, Boyce said. It was their hump day, celebrating not only being halfway done, but also free of any signs of the virus, as no one during that 14-day period developed even a sniffle. With a police escort, more than 24 families paraded past the plant bearing signs and cheering from the windows, too far away for a conversation, but just close enough to give a boost to all the guys, Boyce said. It was something to see, he said. Just a shout and a wave was pretty much what we got, but it was enough. They went back to work. The days blended between the factory floor and conference room bedrooms until finally, on April 19th, it was time to clock out. We wanted to walk out as a team, Boyce said. Everybody felt that way. It really hit me when my car got a little way down from the plant that I was finally going to see my family. All right, last annotation there. So they're talking about a particular challenge that these guys had to face by living at the plant all of the time and living at the factory. So annotation 3 should really be about that challenge that they had to go through and experience during that time. Let me give you guys 1 minute to do that last annotation. Yes, Jayla, that's a really great one. I love that you included like that whole section there. Yes, Anaya, great job. Yes, Edixon, good job. You guys are killing it today, good work. Yes, good job, Alicia. All right. Let's go ahead and look at these questions together, guys. All right, here we go. Question number 1, read the following paragraph. So we're going to reread this paragraph again, but it was in the beginning. No one told them they had to do it. Braskem America CEO Mark Mikulish said. All of the workers volunteered, hunkering down at the plant to ensure that no one caught the virus outside as they sought to meet the rocketing demand for their key product, polypropylene, which is needed to make various medical and hygienic items. Braskem's plant in Neal, West Virginia was doing a second live-in on April 23rd. The story was earlier reported on Philadelphia's WPVI. So we're looking at a possible inference that we could make from this question. A, Braskem America is leading the fight against coronavirus in the United States. B, producing polypropylene is a crucial step in the process of making certain medical supplies. C, Mark Mikulish is an exemplary CEO who knows how to take care of his employees. D, live-ins at the factories are commonly used by companies to combat the virus. So you're making an inference, again, just based off of this particular paragraph, not the rest of the article that we read. It's just this paragraph. No one told them they had to do it. All of the workers volunteered, hunkering down at the plant to ensure that no one caught the virus, to meet the rocketing demand for their key product, polypropylene, which is needed to make various medical and hygienic items. The plant is doing a live-in, and the story was reported on Philadelphia's news station. So we are looking at that. Go ahead and put into the chat what you guys think, A, B, C, or D for this one. Yeah, good job, guys. Most of you are getting this right. Yeah, okay, so the answer is B. Producing polypropylene is a crucial step in the process of making that. So he might be a good CEO, but there's nothing here in this particular paragraph that proves that. It doesn't say that their factory is leading the fight, like they're the ones doing it the most or creating the most of that chemical. The best answer here is definitely B, and we see that with this piece of text evidence here. The rocketing demand for their key product, polypropylene, which is needed to make various medical and hygienic items, matches up with the fact that producing it is a crucial step or an important step in that process of making it. Number 2, read the following statement. The live-in at the factory brought the workers closer together. So living in at the factory brought them closer together. Which one supports that? A, the casual office kitchen became a mess hall for him and his 42 coworkers turned roommates. B, we were just happy to be able to help, Boyce, an operation shift supervisor and 27-year veteran, told the Washington Post. C, they stayed active at the on-site gym, which has never been used so much before, Boyce said, and stayed extra busy in the kitchen. Before long, they fell into a routine like they were all in one enormous household. So which one supports that living there actually brought them closer together as people? Brought them closer together as people. Yes, great job, guys. Yep. Answer is D. Before long, they fell into the routine like they were all in one enormous household. Exactly. So the fact that it makes it sound like they're all living together, they all have their spaces at the kitchen table, the chores and everything like that is where that section comes from. Yes, makes it seem like they have gotten closer together. Question 3, last one for multiple choice. Which of the following statements best represents the workers' families' approach towards showing the workers' support? So which one of these shows how the families supported the workers during this time? A, they sent messages through social media to thank them for their work. B, they donated prepared meals so the workers didn't have to cook. C, they organized a drive-by to visit to shout and wave at the workers. D, they came to visit the factory once a week so the workers could relax. This was at the end of the passage. Let's see what you guys got for this one. Yeah, all your answers look good. Yes, yeah. Great job, guys, yeah. The answer is C, they organized the drive-by to visit and wave at the workers. Beautiful job. If we were justifying this one, we could very easily go back in the text and look for it. The families organized a drive-by visit. Right in that paragraph is where you would find that text evidence to prove your answer. Race strategy, number 4. Why did the author conclude or end the article by quoting Joe Boyce's emotional reaction at the end of the live-in? So why does this article, why do you think the author who wrote this news article, why do you think they chose to end it with this quote? We wanted to walk out as a team. So when they left the factory after a month of living there, they decided they all wanted to walk out as a team. Everybody felt that way. It really hit me when my car got a little ways down from the plant. I'm finally going to see my family. So why do you think he wanted to end the article with the fact that they wanted to walk out as a team, but he's also excited to be going to see his family, like both of those things together at the end of this passage. So race strategy here, you're going to restate our The author concludes the article with this quote because the author concludes the article with this quote because, and then you're going to tell me why. Why do you think the last thing that this author wanted to leave us with, the last thing at the end of this passage, was that particular quote at the end? For your text evidence, in the text it says all you have to do is pull that quote from the end here. So that's pretty easy. And then make sure you have E, this shows, or this means, and you're explaining what that quote means in terms of why the author wanted to do that. Why did they end the passage with that quote? Yeah, great job, Alicia. That's a good answer for number 4. As you guys are finishing up with this, one last reminder. I know that I'm recording this so that other people will be able to see on YouTube or whatever, but please don't share any answers for your annotations. Don't share any answers for the multiple choice, and do not share answers on your race strategy. Nothing should be shared with anybody else. If anybody has questions about this lesson, you can tell them that I posted it on YouTube on Canvas. And you know that you guys can always reach out to me, sending me a remind message or an email, and I would be so glad to help you if you need help. You're welcome, Genesis. Bye, Alicia. Have a good day. If you guys want to stay on and send me your race strategy in the chat, I'll be on for about 10 more minutes or so, and I can help you guys with that. If you feel like you are good to go, then you guys can head out. You have a great day too. Good question. Grades are going to go in this week, guys. A lot of us have just been waiting to hear what the district was going to say, but now that the district told us what's going to happen, we are going to put grades in. I'm sorry, I know we keep saying that. We were just waiting for the district to tell us, but they are going to go in this week. If you've been doing your work, you have nothing to worry about. All right, I'm going to stand for a few more minutes and help you guys out if you need it.